I'd like to call the meeting to order. The Board of Leavenworth County Commissioners would like to invite everyone to stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For the record, Commissioner Klemp, Commissioner Smith are present. Commissioner Holland is absent today. I'd like to start with a moment of silence. Would like to open up the portion of the meeting of public comment. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come forward, state your name and address. Seeing none, we'll move on to administrative business. Mr. Lawfrey.
I had a couple of things I'd like to talk to the board about today. The first one, just a FYI, I do have the personnel manual completed and compiled into one document. I've sent it out to all the department heads for review. I've asked them to get back to me no later than today so that I can get it to the board later today or tomorrow morning, so you'll have a chance to review it. And then I do intend to put it on the 21st for approval.
Okay.
So, just wanted to let you know that.
So it'll be implemented January 1
January
of 18?
1st,
okay.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to bring up is we do have a 2006 Ford Taurus that the commission, it's reserved for commission use. It has 50,000 miles on it, which is averaging about 4,200 a year, but in the last year we only put 1,000 miles on that vehicle. It was recently in an accident and has about $2,200 worth of damage that will need to be repaired potentially. We do have a $1,000 deductible. My question is that with the limited usage and the ability to simply reimburse mileage to the commission, would the commission be interested in reallocating that car? We have another use for it that would get weekly usage rather than maybe once a month or less. And if the commission would be agreeable to that, I would like to repurpose that vehicle to another department where they have a greater need.
$2,200 didn't exceed the value of the car?
It had to be close.
It had to be real close. A 2005 with 50,000 miles on it, we can't justify that.
Yeah.
I mean,
no. One of the other commissioners had the accident.
Wasn't me.
Do we actually need it for somebody else to use?
There is a need. There was a request during the budget process, and what we had said during the budget process is rather than buy a new vehicle, we would try to repurpose one of our older vehicles that's going off. This one is available, excuse me, and so I would like to repurpose this one for that usage. If the commission wants to keep it, then we'll get one of the other vehicles that's going to be replaced this year and move it over. County Attorney. He has a investigator that does some summons work and then also picks up witnesses, gets experts, picks people up at the airport, goes around town, makes sure people show up for court and that stuff.
And everybody here, you got your microphone, Mr.
Oh, well, I turned it off in case I pray a little bit out loud and
That's fine.
didn't want to offend anybody.
Okay.
But it's on now. Thank you very much, sir.
The car's drivable, correct?
It's drivable. The driver's side rear door
Okay.
was caved in, basically.
So it really doesn't have to be fixed.
My intention would not be to fix it. We would take I don't think it's worth $1,000 actually.
The battle scars match the year of the car.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not grotesque.
It's not a classic.
Like a hole in it. None of the glass is broken. I believe the door still works.
Witnesses aren't going to be offended being picked up?
Well, I hope not. If they are, then we will address it at that time.
It'd be more of an undercover car.
Yeah, undercover.
I don't think the commission can justify having that car assigned to the commission if that's all the use it gets. I've used it one time, and it was more of a hassle for me to come in here and get it than it was for me to drive from my house and be reimbursed for mileage for an out-of-town meeting.
Personal opinion, I say we just get rid of the vehicle. The allocation over to the office across the street, I don't see that they need a vehicle. I mean, everybody needs a vehicle. I want to get John a vehicle so he gets here. I want him to have four-wheel drive.
Well, we'll go pick John up if we have to.
I'll do that.
The question is whether the board wants to continue to use it or allow me to,
Well,
basically, we put it under our surplus vehicles.
I would say we
Evaluate
would,
them.
now this is my opinion, I would say we would transfer it because we haven't evolved to having a motor pool yet, which is probably somewhere where we need to be, to where every department would go and check out a vehicle. That way they're getting utilized instead of everybody having their own vehicles and not getting a lot of miles put on them. But if we do not transfer the vehicle, then they'll be coming in here needing a vehicle, and we'll have to purchase a new vehicle.
Well, I like to hear people explain their needs.
Well,
They-
I'm sure,
They did justify it during the budget process. That's when they came in.
and we didn't, yeah.
So that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But I would, my motion, if there's going to be a motion, would be not, we don't need it, and not to transfer it. So if that isn't going to get a second, there's no sense in me making that I'll make that motion. We don't need it, we get rid of it, and we don't transfer it. We sell it to Greenway, or who is that?
Purple Wave?
Purple Wave, yeah.
Well, I would say if there's a need at the county attorney's office, they're gonna end up with a vehicle, whether we transfer them one that's worth.
It didn't get a second, we can't discuss it.
Okay. I'll second your motion
Very
with
good, now
discussion.
go ahead.
I think that's a good use of taxpayer money to transfer a vehicle that's not being utilized by the Board of County Commissioners instead of the county attorney having to budget for a brand-new vehicle.
Well, okay. I don't think it should have been in his budget for a new vehicle, or any
I
vehicle.
don't think it was.
It
He
wasn't in
just
the
talked
budget for a
about
new
it as an
vehicle.
enhancement.
What he budgeted for was an expenditure to have a vehicle, and he was gonna budget for a new vehicle, but when I discussed it with him and asked him if he could use one of our surplus vehicles, and he said that would be fine, he just needed a vehicle. So
And that's kind of where it ended in budget talk.
Right. So one of the surplus vehicles from this year will be allocated to his department.
Okay,
So if
And
if
it
you
may
just
be a
agree
sheriff
to,
vehicle.
if you just agree that this vehicle would be a surplus vehicle, then whichever the best vehicle that's available, that's what would be transferred to his department.
okay. The motion is second. I call for the motion.
Okay, I'll call for a vote.
Nay.
Nay. I'll make a motion that we declare the 2005 Ford Taurus,
It's
that is,
a 2006, just so,
oh, it's a 2006. We bought it in 2005.
yes,
Okay.
that's true.
Okay, my mistake. Woo, the mileage is really bad now that we don't use it. I'll make a motion that we declare the 2006 Ford Taurus that was assigned to the county commission as surplus equipment.
Are you going to finish that work? Sir, I'll second that.
Any discussion?
So it's surplus, where does it go?
Well, anything, if we don't have a purpose for it, then it'll be auctioned at
Go
some
to
point in
Purple
time.
Wave,
But in
Purple
this
Wave.
case, we
per
do
our
have,
purchasing policy.
Call
we'll
for the
review all
motion.
the,
Yeah, call for the motion.
Call for a vote.
Yep, call for vote.
Voting,
To
surplus.
surplus.
Mhm.
Yep. That's my vote.
Yes.
thank you. That's all I had.
Well, at this time, might as well, we have a bill from Anderson Bird that we need to approve. Have you looked at this bill?
Yeah, and I don't remember the total.
You need to look at it again. 13.
November the 1st, November the 30th, okay.
And I don't see anything in there that,
Not
other
excessive.
than just the countersuits.
Yep. And shame we're not doing those at the counter. I'll move approve the bill for $13,632.02 to Anderson and Bird LLP.
I'll second it. Any discussion on this? Other than I just think the taxpayers need to know that this is all from countersuits asking or seeking a declaratory judgment to see if the contracts were valid. The courts have chose to hear the counterclaims first before they determine whether the contracts are valid, so this is where these bills are coming from. Had it just been a declaratory judgment against the contracts to be heard, yes or no question, these bills would not have been that high. So,
That's the courts.
any other discussion, Commissioner, on the bill?
On that bill?
Yes, sir.
No.
Then I'll call for a vote. Voting.
Aye to pay.
Aye. Have anything else this time? Mr. Van Perry's or Mr. Lawfrey?
Consent agenda, I don't have anything.
Yep.
Not on the consent agenda, Commissioner.
Okay.
I think,
You have a question on the consent agenda?
just to see, have we followed through on 19-3A04, coming up with information on that?
Commissioner, I have not. I apologize.
Okay, that's right.
I'll get you something else.
Very good, appreciate it. And there may have been one other thing. I guess that's it. I move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it. Voting?
Aye.
Aye. Are we ready for Mr. Joseph?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
As you all know, we had a vacancy on the Planning Commission, and we advertised it, and we have one individual who is interested to serve on the Planning Commission. So that's before you. His name is Mr. David Clark, and I included the resume and the application in the packet.
Does he have to be here?
No, sir, it's if the
No,
commission.
I was just wondering if he was here.
I don't think so.
Because, you know, the rules say everybody gets 4, or everybody gets 3, but can't have more than 4.
Correct.
Can't
And
have
it's okay, I can pass one over, so there's not a problem with it.
That's not a problem.
Okay, I move we approve the recommendation to appoint Mr. Clark to serve on the Planning Commission with his term expiring June 30th, 2018. He doesn't last long, does he?
I know somebody else that's probably got a term like that.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Lord.
I'll second that. Any discussion on that? Because like I said, I kind of shocked that nobody from your district put in for it.
Well, you know,
It's time consuming. I mean,
No.
they had their dinner last night, and
Yeah.
I
Binge
went
it.
and I told them how much the board appreciates their people that volunteer on these positions like that and give their time and all that.
it's hard to serve on
And
anything.
we have good planning commission members, and I think we got a good planning staff, so
It's hard to serve anywhere.
it's hard to serve. You're giving up your time.
I move for the vote.
Voting.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Mark, I forwarded you an application on Port Authority, probably right before we came in here. Did you get it?
I hadn't had a chance to see
Okay.
it yet. We've had, I think, one other person who's expressed interest. I've reached out to the cities at the request of the board and asked them if they had anybody to recommend, that they get that to us before the week of Christmas, so that on the first part of January, we could consider it, because the position actually doesn't open until January.
Right.
And there are actually two positions that will be open. One is somebody is resigning, the other one is just up for, the term has expired, so it'll be up to the board to also consider that. But the city of Leavenworth is also working on providing a recommendation.
So this is which, LCDC or the Port Authority?
Port
Authority.
Port Authority.
But
And
I'll-
you have the one that was passed on from the one resigning or retiring or what he's,
I don't have any of the, and I'm sure I have Commissioner Smith's that he just sent to me. I don't have any hard
Bills.
copy. I've asked,
is that Mr. News?
Yeah, Mr. News
Recommended.
position, uh-huh.
Yeah, okay.
And the other one's just, will probably just be renewed. He's not
It's-
resigning, correct? His term's just expiring?
I've asked Mr. Jack to talk to him and see if he's interested in continuing to serve.
Can we find out how long he's been there?
He just came on. He was filling a partial position. He just came on last
Okay,
year.
it's not a lifetime position.
No.
Okay.
It is, I believe it's Mr. Patswald who's up, and he filled a position just,
Okay,
I think it was just, well, I think it's more than a year. It's probably been like 2 years ago that he came on.
Hadn't been much longer than that. Anyways, we got that. We got anything else for us?
I have something I've been remiss in not saying.
All right.
I think it was December the 3rd, I went to a tree lighting out in Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
And was everything perfect? Only the kids. The rest of it, I don't care. But the kids were good. They sang, they danced, and it's always nice to watch the teenage boys and girls, and boys blossom also, singing. That is nice. So I wanted to pass that on. It was actually a good gathering. So
Good weather.
good weather. Yep.
Hopefully the winter will stay like this.
No, we need rain bad. Okay.
Rain, not snow.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing I had, and I've been forgetting that. So I wrote it down where I could see it this time.
Okay. And
Oh, and I think you mentioned that the professor that we were having coming on the 21st, we're delaying that in a sense because we don't know if he can make it. He's got personal problems.
Yeah, we don't have a firm commitment yet. He said he has every intention of making it, but he had some other things that he had to get taken care of first.
Yep.
So we didn't put it on the actual schedule
Right.
until we're sure that he's going to be here. If something happens where he can't be here that day, we'll reschedule him.
Yeah, I was just, in case somebody was looking at the schedule and said, he's not gonna be here, I thought that'd be good. Other than that, that's all I have.
okay. Motion to adjourn?
Let's-
Record time here.
Well, we don't wanna go for that. Oh, look, he's putting his hat on. Yeah. What if I do a motion and it's not voted through?
I guess we'll stay here all day.
Okay, I move we adjourn,
I'll second it.
under discussion.
Okay.
There is none.
There's no discussion, voting.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.